Hey guys, I'm going to do what I hope is a short video. I do get some troubleshooting questions and stuff sometimes, and this is something we deal with in the field a lot. So right now I'm gonna kind of go through the steps and stages if you've lost video on your projector, because it could be like a bunch of different things. Okay, so the first stage is you're trying to figure out what is causing it. Obviously, right? Is it the projector not working? Is the projector broken? Is the source broken? That kind of thing. Typically, you've got a source, a surround sound receiver, a cable between those two things, and then a cable between that and the projector. So trying to isolate it is the easiest thing to do. So the first thing to do is to get in your cabinet, take the HDMI out of the receiver, okay, so the one that is in the out of the receiver, take that guy, unplug your source, Apple TV, Roku, whatever, unplug that source, plug that cable that's in your hand directly into the source. Now that source is running directly to the projector. If all of a sudden you get video, you know that it's not the source. You know it's not the cable going to the projector, that's the biggest pain in the ass, of course. And you know it's not the projector. If you don't get video, right, so that tells me it's the surround sound receiver probably. Plug it back in, unplug the surround sound receiver for 30 seconds, plug it back in, let it reconfigure, let it re-handshake, or you can just do that first if you feel like it. But if you've already unplugged everything, then you have to go through these other steps, right? So unplug first, go through these other steps. So if you do get video, you're like, all right, then it's the surround sound receiver. Try to reset everything, try to go back to that. If you don't get video, you're like, all right, it's either the projector, the wire, or the source. Like something's wrong there. More than likely, it's not the surround sound receiver at that point. So to test if your HDMI cable went bad or somebody wiggled it, take the Apple TV out, get an extension cable, plug it in, get on your ladder, plug it in with a short cable to the projector. If you get video from the Apple TV right there, then obviously it's the HDMI cable going between the receiver and the projector, okay? If that's the case, that sucks. You have to rerun it depending on how it was ran in the first place. That can be very difficult. If you have a Cat 5 or Cat 6 wire to the projector also, instead of running it, if you can't run it without creating holes, you can get what's called a Balun, which essentially sends up to 4K video over a Cat 6 or over a Cat 5 line to the projector. So, those are just some steps and stages. Really try to isolate the problem. If you can get the source to the projector, test it that way. You always want to just, get behind there, unplug a few things and think, all right, I'm trying to isolate what's wrong, if it is the receiver, then, get an HDMI cable, go to Best Buy, get a 50-footer real quick, plug it into the output, drag it across the floor, plug it into the projector. Don't run it first. It might not be that. It just might be something weird. If you get video, it's the cable, so then you have to redo the cable. So those are just kind of some really easy, really fast steps to try to isolate problems when you're troubleshooting. Can be used in a lot of different things. This one particularly is video, but that's kind of, when we're in the field, we're not getting video. Some even brand new stuff does this, believe it or not. What a headache. We have to go through those troubleshooting steps and figure out what's wrong real fast. Another pro home theater tip: set up your stuff on the floor before you put it in the walls. Set up your projector on the ladder, make sure your throw distance is good, right underneath the projector. Sometimes the math isn't perfect. Run your HDMI cable on the floor, plug it into an Apple TV. Get video on the wall before you go start pulling cables through the wall. Watch out for directional cables. They have arrows on them. The arrows mean something to some people, but essentially if it's aiming out towards the wire, that's your HDMI cable that gets plugged into the receiver because it's going out, and then the input goes in the projector. Believe it or not, if you run that backwards, it will not work. The arrows mean something, so if they have arrows on them, use the arrows. So those are just kind of some pro tips, and hope it helps somebody out there. See you.